said that I want us to finish the book of Ruth so that immediately at around 5 we start from the book of First of Samuel. The reason why we are reading the book of Ruth is because the book of the story of David is related to the book Ruth. Because if you read, David was the grandson of this woman called Ruth. Are we together? So when you read the story of Ruth and the story of Ruth and Naomi, you realize, you see, the husband of Naomi was known as Elimelech. Now, there was a great famine in Bethlehem. So the family of Naomi, with his two sons, Mahlon and Chilion, they went to live in Moab. So the two sons of Naomi, that is Mahlon and Chilion, they married Moabite women, and Ruth and Oprah were those Moabite women. That is why I want to give you a synopsis, and I want to tell you why. If you read the book of First of Samuel, if you read the book of Ruth, you will be able to, when you start reading First of Samuel, you will understand why Ruth is important in this story. Are we together? So the two sons of Naomi, they died in Moab, and Naomi gave them permission, gave both Ruth and Oprah permission to be remarried because they were still young ladies. And Oprah went, and Ruth followed Naomi. That's why I'm telling you it's important to have the Spirit of the Lord, because you see, when the Spirit of the Lord gets into your life, you're not gonna make mistakes. So when Ruth followed Naomi and made a vow to follow her, even to a foreign country, a country that was not her home, she found favor in the eyes of Naomi. And when she was working in the field of Boaz, threshing wheat, then Boaz also, this woman called Ruth, found favor in the eyes of Boaz. And Boaz ended up, Naomi was selling the land that was belonging to Elimelech, and Boaz bought the land and also married this woman called Ruth, and they had a son, and this son was called Obed, and Obed was the father of Jesse, and Jesse was the father to David. So you see that, you can see here clearly, it's like a line of favor. It's like, David, in the lineage of David came Solomon. In that lineage of David also, Jesus came from the line of David. Are we together? So that's why I want us to read this scripture very quickly, so that we can go to other things. Ruth said, if you read Ruth chapter 2, verses 13, she said, "May I continue to find favor in your eyes, my Lord." She said, "You have put me at ease by speaking kindly to your servant, though I do not have any standing of one of your servants." At mealtime, Boaz said to her, "Come over here, have some bread and dip it in your wine vinegar." You see, here Boaz was very kind to this lady, Ruth. When she sat down with the harvesters, he offered her some more roasted grain. She ate all she wanted and had some left over. Are we together? As she got up to glean, Boaz gave orders to his men, "Let her gather among the sheaves and don't reprimand her. Even put some stacks for her for the bundles and leave them for her to pick up and don't rebuke her." So those are the orders of Boaz. Boaz said uh, that people should not reprimand this lady called Ruth or rebuke her. So Ruth gleaned in the field. And I want to know the meaning of the word glean. Glean, glean. She gleaned in the field until evening. Then she threshed the barley she had gathered, and it amounted to about an ephah. She carried it back to town, and her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. What she had left over after she had eaten enough. Her mother asked her, "Where did you glean today? Where did you work? Blessed be the man who took notice of you." So then Ruth told her mother-in-law about the one at whose place she had been working. "The name of the man I worked with today is Boaz." And Ruth and Naomi said, "The Lord bless him." Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, "She had not stopped showing his kindness to the living. He has not stopped showing his kindness to the living and the dead." She added, "That man is our close relative. He's one of our guardian redeemers." Then Ruth the Moabite said, "He even said to me, 'Stay with the workers until they finish harvesting all my grain.'" Oh my goodness. And Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, "It would be good for you, my daughter, to go to the women who work for him, because in someone else's field you might be get hurt." You see here, Naomi told her daughter-in-law Ruth to go to the farm of Boaz, because also if she does that, it would be in her best interest, because in other places she would get harmed. Are we together? And Naomi, fearing for her safety, she told uh, Ruth to go to the farm of Boaz. Until there, are we together? So let's continue. So Ruth stayed close to the women of Boaz to glean until the barley and wheat harvested were finished, and she lived with her mother-in-law. Chapter 3. One day, Ruth's mother-in-law Naomi said to her, "My daughter, I must find a home for you where you will be well provided for. Now Boaz, with whose women you have worked, is a relative of ours. Tonight he'll be winnowing barley on the threshing floor. Wash, put on perfume, and get dressed in your best clothes." Oh my goodness. "Then go down to the threshing floor, but don't let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking." That's very interesting. So here, Naomi told Ruth to wash herself well, put on perfume, and get dressed in her best clothes, but don't say anything. Wait until the man had finished eating and drinking. You see, most people, when you have your petition, you go to people when they're hungry. You go to people when they're not well fed. So you find the worst side of them. So this was very good advice that Naomi gave to Ruth. She told her to dress and go when the man is satisfied. Are we together?